I'm Corbett Wall with DVAuction, here with the feeder flash for Wednesday, January 29th, brought to you in part by a new product, ProBac with Reveal ATS by Vimeda. ProBac vaccines provide the most complete protection against common BRD causing bacteria. Other killed vaccines don't even come close. For more information, go to VimedaBiologicals.com. Margin calls. Talking to a lot of people at Beaver County Stockyards where I was at on Tuesday, and talking to backgrounders and cattle feeders earlier this week. Everybody is talking about the amount of money that they're having to send to Chicago to cover their margin calls. If they took a full hedge, a short position to protect their investment, and the board just keeps going up and up relentlessly, and this higher market, of course, that puts them behind on the down position that they put to protect their cash position, and they have to keep sending more money in to cover their margins. And it is a tremendous amount of money. If you look at the kind of rally we've been having here of late, and I say, well, you know, why would you take such a full position on the downside? Why not buy a put? And a lot of them say, well, I did buy a put, but 2 or 3 weeks ago, or maybe a month ago, whenever the rally kind of looked like it subsided a little bit and they had some pretty handsome profits out there, they couldn't pass up the profits and they went ahead and took that. Then when everything started going back up again, they were left uncovered. I would never recommend producers taking a full position, short position on the board to hedge their investment. I would say buy a put, but stay hooked. Sell calls, or take an LRP out to do your hedging and protect yourself. But still, it's very essential that you protect yourself, especially now that we are walking a tight wire atop this tall market here, and nothing below us there, and couldn't be much left at the top. We keep saying that, but it just keeps going up. But the long positions are totally dominated by managed money, managed fund money. Who else is going to take a long position? CME refuses to give anything to entice anyone else to take a long position, so it's just managed money up there. They're just there to turn a profit. So at some point, they're going to pull the rug out from under this market, jump on the downside, and ride it down. And heck of it is, how high is too high? And we won't have much of an argument whenever this thing does start going down. And it could go down $50 a hundred and still be high. So we're just going to keep saying, well, my gosh, these fundamentals are so good, but the futures market is collapsing. But there's not anything we're going to be able to do about it. So I tell you guys, continue to stay covered, stay hedged, cover yourself, protect yourself. But that's what's going on right now, is these margin calls are killing people. Let's talk about your board on Tuesday. February live cattle futures were up 287 at 208.55, getting pretty close to last week's weighted average on your 5-area negotiated trade. April, which is always the highest live cattle futures month, but has fallen behind our spot February, but April was up 345 on Tuesday at 207.27. Your back months on live cattle up $1.25 to up 315. January feeder cattle were up 210 at 281.82. That surpassed our index levels. And don't tell me people aren't looking at that real-time index, because the latest available there is at 281.07, which is a long ways further up than your latest CME cash feeder cattle index, but it will catch up. But January feeder cattle up there on top of your cash index levels at 281.82. March feeder cattle up $3 smooth at 278.25. Your back months on feeder cattle were up 230 to up 347, so you know there's some protection levels there that are going to look pretty good out front. So you need to take a look at them, guys, for your LRPs. Talk about your grains. March corn up 3 1/4 cents a bushel at 485 1/4. Beans were unchanged at 1045. Hard red winter wheat for March up 7 3/4 cents a bushel at 561. Your fat cattle trade, I think it's very important that you notice that there hasn't been one hoof trade negotiated direct cash out of Iowa, Nebraska, or Texas. So those guys are banking on asking more money and raising this fat cattle market even more. We did see some trade out of Kansas, just 200 head, which happened late Monday at 203. And you might say, well, why would anybody sell at 203 when your latest weighted average negotiated was over 209? Well, the best they ever got last week in the Southern Plains was 202. So selling on a Monday late at 203 actually doesn't sound that bad. But we did have our market finder brick and mortar fat cattle auction in the Northern Plains at Stockman's Livestock Market in Yankton, South Dakota. And we have to thank Gary Marks, retired fat cattle buyer from Norfolk, Nebraska, that goes up. He's a sale barn junkie just like me and a lot of you guys. He likes to go up there. He gives me a report, shares a report with me so I can share it with you. There's not a lot of places to find this Yankton fat cattle market. It's not reported by Federal State Market News. I think that's unfortunate, being the biggest and best fat cattle market in the nation. But Gary shared with me they had 2,600 in overnight, 3,500 in for the fat cattle auction at Stockman's Livestock Market in Yankton, South Dakota. The conventional fat steers and heifers, just the straight up fat steers and heifers, sell from $212 to $215.50. That was 50 cents to $2 higher than last week's sharply higher market. Now the program cattle, the non-implanted or the drug-free cattle, they sell from $212 to $219.50. That is steady to $6 higher. Gary said, a lot of times it's the smaller packers, some of the regional packers that are coming in to fill their needs, which they don't have all the AMAs, but the big boys have. But it was the major packers that were the most aggressive and really getting in on those highest grading cattle that have a pretty big end of prime on them. And so they were the ones paying up almost the most for some of those best fat cattle that were on offer. And he also told me that the fat cattle in the ring appeared that they were bringing 350 dressed standing in the ring, and that far surpasses anything that we've seen on a direct basis. Box beef cutout values were higher. It appears that your packers have decided to price that wholesale beef higher, and they're getting the market up there a little bit. Your choice cuts on Tuesday afternoon were 330, 245, up 237. Selects up 141 at 321.96. Your slaughter up through the first 2 days of the week, 238,000 estimated cattle slaughter through federal inspection. That's 1,000 less than at this point last week, 12,000 less than this point a year ago. Talk about what else is going on. Your Junior Red Angus Association's Powering Reds Forward sale is on DVAuction.com. It's a timed sale. You can get on to DVAuction.com and don't miss a chance to secure sale credits from top Red Angus producers while supporting Junior Red Angus and Junior members. It is a timed sale. The lots close tonight, here on Wednesday evening, the 29th at 6 p.m. So get on to DVAuction.com, go in there and purchase some sale credits. 100% of the proceeds will be utilized for the Junior Red Angus Association. If you're planning on making a purchase later on in the sales season from donor firms, why not do this? Plus, it's tax deductible. So think about that, guys. Go on to DVAuction.com and check out the Junior Red Angus Powering Reds Forward sale. Talk about your feeder cattle market. Your real-time index on DV Auction which comes from your 7 to 899 pound cash auction steers up through your middle 12 states in reported markets through Cattle Market Central. Late in the day on Tuesday was up 137 at 281.07. 280 seemed unreachable, and on Tuesday we far surpassed that at 281.07. Your latest CME cash feeder cattle index sitting at 277.93, but it will be over 280 the next time it comes out with the latest sales on Tuesday included. Talk about your big sales. On Tuesday, Ozarks Regional Stockyard out of West Plains, Missouri had a big sale, 4,500 through the ring, another 613 head through their in-house video sale they do with help from DVAuction. Don't forget, coming up this Saturday evening or late afternoon at Ozarks Regional Stockyard in West Plains, they're having a special replacement sale. Starts at 5 o'clock p.m. this Saturday, February the 1st. Get a hold of them at the office there at West Plains. Tell them you want to be approved. Give them a little bit of information. That way, when you're watching that sale, you'll be able to bid on some of those replacement cattle offered there at the special sale at Ozarks Regional Stockyard. But the feeder sale on Tuesday had feeders $4 to $8 higher, calves selling $3 to $6 higher, with spots as much as $12 higher. Had a very impressive sale, several stick-out sales, but probably the most impressive was in their in-house video. It was the Hart Farms cattle from right there close to West Plains, Missouri. They sell 220 head of 700-pound feeder heifers. Heifers, guys, they're home raised, 80% black. Few had a ticket ear, not bad. They were on a growing ration there running out near West Plains for immediate delivery coming next week here, February 3rd through 7th. And those 220 head of 700-pound heifers bring 275 at the in-house video there at West Plains, Missouri. How about Beaver County Stockyards in Beaver, Oklahoma? Big sale for them, 6,700 feeders on Tuesday. Got a pretty good cow sale coming up here today on Wednesday. But the feeders on Tuesday sold $3 to $8 higher, spots $10 higher. The calves were steady to $5 higher, and those trends coming to you from Federal State Market News as they are now reported, since beavers' receipts have ballooned here of late. And so they're being reported by Federal State Market News, and that's where the trends come from. But I was in Beaver, a lot of excitement there. People very excited about the market, and buyers extremely aggressive. Here were your NationalBeefWire stick-out sale of the day, and check out these well-tested weight groups. How about on steers, 449 head of 5-weight steer calves, average 552 pounds with a weighted average price on all of them of $341.92. 815 head of 6-weight steers in Beaver, averaged 656 at $314.63. There were 849 head of the 7-weight steers. They averaged 766 at $294.77. 1,206 head of 8-weight feeder steers at Beaver County Stockyards in Beaver, Oklahoma. They averaged $834 with a weighted average price on over 1,200 of them of $274.27. That includes small groups, singles, and everything else. 440 head of 9-weight steers averaged $926 at $259.60. How about the heifers? 396 head of 5-weight heifer calves averaged $551 with a weighted average price of $306.83. 677 head of 6-weight heifers in Beaver averaged $643 at $283.93. And 655 head of 7-weight feeder heifers, Beaver County Stockyards in Beaver, Oklahoma, they average $741 and bring $266.06. Give you some individual quotes from all around. How about winter livestock in La Junta, Colorado? That's John Campbell's sale there. Sells 68 steer calves, weigh 582 at $360. Big time quote from Eastern Colorado. How about OKC West El Reno Livestock Market? Bill Barnhart gave me the heads up on their calf sale on Tuesday. Be a big feeder sale here today on Wednesday. But on Tuesday they had 86 head of 743-pound calves, bring $302. How about Kimball Livestock Exchange in Kimball, South Dakota? 62 steers, weighed 791, almost 800 pounds at 306.50. But the most impressive quote that I saw anywhere on Tuesday in your Macrocin, no BS, top quote for the day, indeed come out of Beaver County Stockyards. I not only saw them sell, I was selling them, and I thank Jeff Slatton and everybody there at Beaver County Stockyards for letting me come up there periodically and auctioneer for them. But it was the McIlvaine steers. They could absolutely read and write. All black Angus there, backgrounded on hay and range cubes. It was 104 steer calves, long time weaned, weighed 671 and bring 327. And that's your feeder flash for Wednesday.